Thing that I love about Merced is just that there's so much architect and there's so many buildings that kind of just been there's just so interesting. You can tell there's so much character in them, you know. And yeah, so I just decided to take pictures of old buildings. Video is mostly going to be about like signs. I've always been interested in like neon signs and like that. I guess I love these old motel signs just because it gives that retro vibe. It gives that like old school vibe. And, I just went to parts of Merced that I feel like it's like, it's there, but you kind of forget that it's there. And just revisiting them because I just always remember seeing them growing up. It's kind of like, oh shit, like it's still, I think it's pretty cool that it's still up. And I think it's kind of hard. I've been wanting to take more pictures of Merced. I've been kind of wanting to show people because we do have a nice downtown area. We do have a cool, a cool little spot, a cool vibrant location that's starting to show light again. I just want to incorporate more of the places that kind of been ignored. You go there and you can tell that there used to be something, but it's kind of, right now it's just vacant. Once you get to that location, it's just like you're wondering like how things used to be. But yeah, no, and then actually one shot that looked pretty cool to me, that was pretty cool when we were walking, was the classic like sneaker shot. Like you always see it, and I remember growing up, like my friends and I, we would just always throw shoes over the power, over those power lines and everything. And I haven't seen that. It's been a while since I've seen that. So it was cool. Once I when I saw that, I was just like, oh shit, that's something I would always see growing up, and that's something that we used to do growing up. And it was cool. Like that day it was very cloudy, so I thought it was cool seeing like those that overcast over there, hanging over, and it looked pretty cool. I guess like one thing that I like to do is like take more portrait shots, like more what is it? I like seeing that just because I feel like you can take more. Like it's more like looking up. I used to take a lot of landscape shots, and now I kind of been staying away from it. I'm not sure why. I kind of leave that for like longer buildings. But yeah, but going to Merced though, it was just like it was cool. It just made me want to drive around. I kind of been getting into more to these motel signs, and it's kind of cool looking at the signs. 'Cause I never looked up to them, and I never really like paid attention too much of them. And when I took that picture, it was cool seeing like the birds on top. It was cool seeing that old neon glow, that like atom kind of shape electrical sign right there. It just looked pretty cool. I had to go back. I had to go back to my town. I had to go back to where I grew up at, and Livingston. Like growing up in Livingston, every time, usually when I was in high school, we'd stop at Pinky's, and it was always like, it was funny though because you would go in there and they would have you take off your backpacks because they didn't want you to steal anything. But I didn't like notice it back then, like how unique the building was. And when I went back and looked at it, I was just like, oh shit. Like, first of all, the building's pink. You don't really see a lot of buildings that are pink, so I don't know if they painted it that way, or I don't know what happened. I think it's pretty dope. I like that look. And then when you look up, you can see like that ball right there. It's like shattered now, but that green tone and like that pink, like it just like it was very enticing. It was very alluring to me. It's like stuck in its own time. It's stuck in its own capsule because you look at the Pepsi sign and it's like one of the older ones, like that whole new generation promo that was happening back then. And it was just cool. It was like a trip. I guess this video is about going down memory lane. I want to keep getting more pictures of Livingston. I want to keep getting more pictures of Merced. But today, this video is just about signs. I'm just gonna be talking about signs, and then the one picture that I've been wanting to get, but I don't know why I've never really like stopped and took the picture of it, was that motel sign in Livingston. It's one of the things that you always saw growing up, but you never really paid too much attention to it because it just looked like a motel sign. But I don't know if they cleaned it. I don't know if they did something to it, but it looks nicer to me. And that day was so beautiful because you started seeing like that blue and purple, like that like cotton candy kind of look. And I just happened to be there. Like I always try to take my pictures during golden hour, which is like 4 o'clock, and then when the sun starts going down, like around 5:30, it's perfect because you start seeing all those hues. You start seeing all that light coming down. And it was just perfect timing. And when I was editing it was kind of hard to pick because I feel like the greener tone reminds me like something like the 60s. And then I've always been a fan of that blue and purple look because I love that mix. so I had to incorporate that, but it was hard. So I'm just gonna show you all the edits that I put up on there. And then one thing too that Livingston is, well, I mean, the Central Valley is known for is when the almond trees start blossoming. And I think it's cool because I got some footage when it started, like, it started growing, and then I came back, I think like 2 weeks after that, and I noticed like it started blooming again. And like, lucky for me, I'm not allergic, so I love almond season. I love when it starts blooming. And I just took a couple of pictures because I know it's something that everybody in the Central Valley does, but I think that's something that's cool about the valley, is that we're known for that. Like, you can't really take pictures anywhere else unless you come over here, so that's a cool thing. And I just wanted to highlight this old like barn right there, like man, I forget the street, I have to look it up, but there's always been this old barn that I've seen, and I've always liked that like structure. And right now it's just so beautiful. Like, when the golden hour coming down, it just looks so nice. So I flew my drone, I took a couple of pictures, and it just like sat right. I love the wood. I love how it's like run down already. I guess most of my pictures today are about run down old buildings. I don't know what it is, but it's just beautiful seeing that light hit. It's just beautiful seeing that ray come down. And I flew my drone. I got a couple of pictures, and there's just so much going on in there. And it's like, I drive through the street every day. And I'm always like, I want to take a picture of that. I want to take a picture of that. And I never do it, but finally I just made time. I got there right when the sun started going down, and it just gave me that beautiful warm tone. So here's a couple of pictures of it. And if there's anything that I'm Central Valley being like associated with, it's the almond blossom. Like, it's just so beautiful. It just makes the drive a lot more beautiful. It kind of like reminds you how nice it is to be around agriculture. It reminds you like how beautiful your town really is. I know it's pretty cool that it's literally in your backyard that you get to see this all the time. Pretty much what I'm trying to do is that I want to try to make towns that people aren't proud of, cities that people are ashamed to be from. I want to capture the light. I want to bring lights to those parts that have been, like, a lot of people are ashamed to come from Merced. Like that. A lot of people call it Merced, and I get it. I understand it, but I mean, what are you doing about it? Like, I feel like it's easy to go somewhere that already has things, but it's harder to create something in a place that doesn't have anything. So that's what I want to do. What I'm trying to do here is that I want to bring light. I want to showcase. I want to show the parts of Merced, of Livingston, of the Central Valley that people don't usually pay attention to. I want them to see like there's beauty in everything. And I know you can't do that all the time, but I know it sounds corny and everything, but if you feel something, if I make you feel anything with these pictures, then my job is done. Because as a photographer, like, I want you to feel something. When you see these pictures, I want you to feel something. I want to create a story. I want you to envision yourself there. I want you to visit it. Like, I want you to see it. So as long as one person feels something, as long as one person connects with it, then my job is done, because that's what I want to do. And I just want to bring light to that. I want to shed light to the places that have been dimmed down. I want to create something. I want people to feel something when they see it. Like, if it's memories, if it's that nostalgia, whatever it is, as long as you feel something, then my job is done. That's really all I want to do. I feel like right now we're in a place where we're starting to see our cities flourish. We're starting to see, that comeback from our town, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool to be a part of it. So, with that being said, it's your boy E, representing THC, and that's it.